that which lies beyond civilization. Eerie.
I hope to make you all aware of our good friends, the birds. Theirs is a noble history, and through it all, man has played a conspicuous part. This cave drawing is one of man's earliest sketches of his feathered...
Okay, let's talk about the adaptation. Fisher makes passing reference to it and how Daphne du Maurier did not like the rendition.
She liked Rebecca, and she liked Don't Look Now, with the one we'll talk about later in this episode. I didn't read an interview where she gave specific reasons. It almost seems like... Did she, purportedly not like this one, or...?
There was a Guardian article about it that I found.
Okay.
Where she just couldn't understand why he made the changes that he did.
Oh, because it's a cooler setting. Because you adapted your last movie and kept it in Cornwall, and that fucking sucked. To be clear, I'm talking about Jamaica Inn, which is a movie that Hitchcock made early in his career.
But he also made Rebecca, which rocked.
Yeah, wasn't in Cornwall, though.
Oh, right.
Yeah, different part of England. I mean, okay, so Hitchcock famously does have a British phase and American phase, and most of his movies after he moved to America do in fact take place in America. And he also got some beautiful shots of the California Coastal Highway, so... that's cool too. But yeah, I mean, the individual family setting versus the young couple meet, almost a romantic comedy, which, I mean, Hitchcock gets into the notion of reading the narrative and taking away the birds from it and just having what would the story be otherwise, which is often a useful way. And in the case of the Hitchcock adaptation, it would be essentially a screwball rom-com from the 60s. It would basically be Breakfast at Tiffany's, less racist, more crazy.
Yeah, the two main characters are nuts.
Yeah, this gets
They're nuts for each other.
This gets into the sensibilities of how the 1960s depicted a strong female character and how that often runs up against modern sensibilities in a interesting way. Because, it's the baby it's cold outside thing where it's like, okay, well, yes, it was understood at the time that you needed to play this game of disavowal, and, the baby it's cold outside is this romantic way as it would be understood at the time. And yet, in fact, actually, it's a strong female character depicted in the song. And there's a perfectly cogent argument for that. That doesn't change the fact that hearing that song today, it just sounds rapey. It is just times change and the language, the cultural context around your signs and signifiers change. And yeah, the way
Tippi Hedren and Rod Taylor's relationship.
Yes.
If you haven't seen the movie and you're just sitting down, you'll be like, what the fuck is wrong with these people?
Yeah, they're just stalking each other.
Yeah, they're doing long game stalking. Rod Taylor shows up in the first scene and just negs Tippi Hedren.
Randomly, seeing her in a store, he's like...
A bird store.
He's like, number one, I know your name. Number two, I'm gonna neg you a bunch. And she's like, who the fuck are you?
And then when he leaves, she's like, oh, he was kind of cute.
Yeah, I'm gonna find his address.
I'm gonna find his address by calling up a journalist that works for my father at a newspaper, and he's going to run
a license
plate, and then go to his apartment with lovebirds, which everyone goes, ooh, whenever anybody says it. At least there's a pregnant pause after anyone says it, which...
Well, that is also
it's like a meet cute kind of
thing.
Yeah,
well, I mean, it's also the kind of 60s sensibility, because if someone just showed up and, gave you a pet you didn't ask for, you'd be like, no! I don't want to feed this thing.
Let alone go to your apartment.
Well, yeah, that too, but it's sort of like those old, Honda for the holidays commercials where it's like, no, one spouse just buying a car without consulting the other spouse, and then let alone a stranger buying you birds, and now it's like, oh, I need to fucking clean a bird cage now.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the first act, and then she stalks him 2 hours north in the country and rows a boat, sees him leaving his house, his mother's house.
And it's like, how do I get to that house? And we're like, well, there's a road. And she's like, I don't want anyone to see me. And they're like, oh, I mean, that's normal. I guess you can rent a boat then. That's the other thing.
Bodega Bay, yeah.
Yeah, Bodingas. The chopped cheese capital of California. But, yeah, no, that's the other thing. It should be noted, throughout this movie, she regularly recruits other people to help her stalk them. And they all do without question.
Yeah.
No one thinks this is
They're like,
weird.
This is the most romantic
Yeah,
thing
no,
I've
everyone's
ever heard.
like, yeah, you go, girl. Even the dude's ex is like, yeah, okay, fuck it.
I stalked him. I know how it feels.
Yeah, no, it's just
I live up here because I followed him. And then
she breaks and enters.
she breaks and enters into his house, leaves the birds, which is for his age-inappropriate sister, and he runs out and
Again,
is
he's like 33 in this movie. He just looks 60 because it's the 60s.
But his daughter's turning 12.
Or his sister, again, is turning...
Yeah, sorry. I thought it was his daughter because she's old enough to be his daughter.
Yeah, I mean, I
gotta ask about the mother's role in sexual...
Yeah, she had sex exactly 2 times, like... 20 years apart. Yeah. And now her husband's dead.
But after they kind of link up, it follows the beats of the book, more or less.
I mean, again, back to the book, keeping, again, this maritime theme, they relate the birds to the east wind, which is traditional fisherman and sailor superstition, but also the birds attack and rest with the tides going in and out, and that gets established to be seemingly objectively true in the short story. It does appear that it just lines up to when the tides are going in and coming out, that the birds will attack. In the film, they attack and then rest, and it's not ever nailed to any particular cycle in nature. But, I mean, the birds attack this one particular town in seemingly expanded areas. You don't see the complete breakdown of society in much the same way, which I guess would be a point against the zombie idea. And it's coddled for the sensibilities of film at the time. Not everyone dies. Several people do die.
But they should, because they just ran outside when they were being attacked.
Yeah, that's the other thing is, people keep fucking running outside, and there's one part in the movie where finally the dude gets it in his head of like, oh, we should stay inside and I should board up all the fucking shit, obviously. Or just, again, wear a thick sweater because they're fucking birds. But, hey, who am I?
Yeah, and as Fisher notes, I think in the book and in the film adaptation, there's no explanation given, and that's sort of the eeriness that follows both. By the end, the BBC is no longer broadcasting at all, and its silence means that we are definitively in the space of the eerie. There will be no explanation for the characters or for the readers, nor will there be any reprieve. At the end of the story, the birds' siege shows no signs of concluding. Which
I think is probably the most different with the film. The film seemingly has a far more optimistic ending where there is continual radio broadcasts through the end of the film. Those radio broadcasts essentially say that this is mostly happening in Bodega Bay, and it's sort of spreading to some other areas, but the military has checkpoints and shit, and seemingly society is operating outside this little beach vacation spot.
There's no reason to be afraid.
Birds are not aggressive creatures, miss. They bring beauty into the world.
That might be true for one bird, but thousands of birds? That's a different story.
probably think a few birds are going to bring about the end of the world.